Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So Yin Yang Master is the latest adaptation of the Onmyoji Japanese novel and video game and manga series. And this is actually the second that I've seen. The other one that I saw was YinYang Master Dream of Eternity. Both of these are Chinese movie productions. And this one is definitely different from the other one that I saw. So within this review, I am going to be talking about this version of it. And then at the end of the review, I'm going to talk about how this compares to YinYang Master Dream of Eternity. So the general story is we have the Yin Yang Master. His name is Qing Ming, and he is part of this bureau that actually protects this sacred stone that is basically keeping this very powerful serpent-like creature from coming back into the world. And this world is composed of the human world and the monster world. And so if this monster comes back, it's basically going to destroy both worlds. And within this, Qin Ming also has a connection with another Yin Yang Master. Her name is Bai Ni, and they grow up with each other. And also there's other cast of characters like Boya and many different creatures and monsters. But the whole general story is Qin Ming is attached to this very powerful monster in a way. And they're trying to prevent this from coming back. So that's kind of like the overall general story. Very simple. Now, getting to the things that I really enjoyed about this movie is just the overall visuals. Everything from the set design, the artwork, the costume, and of course, the special effects. You could definitely tell they spent a lot of money on this Chinese production, and it's probably one of the best that I've seen overall, especially here recently. And even though with the special effects, you can tell they are special effects, since this is adapted from a novel and then later video game, it really makes sense in this world. And I think overall, everything is just really beautiful, colorful. It's just a very pleasing movie to watch. And I really feel like the special effects overall really help tell the story and put you in this whole fantasy world. Which leads me to the second thing. The overall creature and monster designs, I really did enjoy them. They took a lot of time with this. And there's a variety of different creatures with very unique attributes. And all these attributes are things that are very memorable. Like, for example, there's this creature called the Red Ghost. And you remember who he is just by that name. But as you're watching this entire movie, the creatures really grow on you and they become things that you really love. And they're probably one of the best part because not only are they creatures that are very different and at the same time memorable, but they're also very funny and lovable. So I did enjoy that. And then, of course, the other thing that is done really well here is the overall action. This is a fantasy action film. So when there are action fight scenes, it looks really good. And it's like very video game in nature, you know. So just as I stated a little bit earlier, they had a video game based upon this. So if you watch this, it's just like watching a really big budget video game. And so I did enjoy that. And I think the action overall, you could tell what's going on. And there is a lot of spectacle as well. And then another thing that I enjoy is this entire world building. Yin Yang Master did a great job in building out this world, the human world, this monster world. And you could tell this world is really vast. And just by looking at it, you know, you could tell that there is a lot of story that can be told. And Qin Ming or the Yin Yang Master, this looks like just one chapter of this entire world. So that's really cool. And then the last thing I enjoyed about this movie is just how much fun it is. From beginning to end, I never had a moment that I was bored. You know, it's like an hour and 55 minutes, but it didn't feel like it. And that's a good thing. When you could watch the movie and just have a lot of fun and not even think about being it too long or too short, and you're just enjoying it, then that, in my opinion, is a sign of a really good movie that you can watch over and over. For the best value in domain names, check out Namecheap, where you can get a domain for an entire year for less than $10. Plus, get WhoisGuard privacy protection for free. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. Now, getting into the thing that I didn't like about this movie, at least for me, it's really nitpicking. You know, I would say about the only thing that I could nitpick maybe is some of the special effects. Even though I did enjoy them, they served the world well, some of them weren't exactly perfect. You know, you could tell that there were some missing frames of animation, or it kind of looks clunky, and you'll kind of see what I mean. But that doesn't happen very often, and that's about the only thing that I didn't enjoy about this, because at least for me, everything that surrounded, even though the story was simple, it was just so fun to watch, and it's just a visual spectacle for the eye. So definitely overall, I did enjoy this movie, which leads me to the other thing, or the last thing is, how does this compare to Yin Yang Master Dream of Eternity? Well, if I had to really give you my simple answer, I definitely enjoyed this one more. This one just has a much bigger feel. There's way more characters, a lot of creatures, monsters, and things that you actually do care about. And I would say the Yin Yang Master in this one is a lot more interesting than the one in the other movie. And just as a whole, this is one of those fantasy action movies that you could come back and watch it, many times over, and I still think you would get something out of it. It's just one of those types of movies that you could just watch, turn off your brain, and just have a good time. And hopefully there'll be another movie in this series made by the same people and hopefully the same characters and creatures, because I did enjoy them. So that's overall my thoughts on Yin Yang Master. Definitely an excellent fantasy action film overall if you're the type of person who enjoys that, or adaptations of video game type movies, but actually one that's good, then you will enjoy this. And I would say if you haven't seen Yin Yang Master Dream of Eternity, I think that's a fun movie as well. So I would watch both, but in my opinion, if you had to choose one or the other, watch Yin Yang Master first because it's so good, and then watch Yin Yang Master Dream of Eternity. And so that way, you'll get a little bit of both and you won't be too disappointed, because both of them have their positives and negatives, but overall, they're both fun movies. But this one is the better one overall. So if you actually had any thoughts in this, if you've seen this one or the other one or any other fantasy action movies that you've enjoyed, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my fantasy, action, sci-fi, or international film reviews, I do have playlists for those. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.